Hollywood would like for you to love them again. Celebrities want you to sing their praise once more. There's just one problem. The public has largely shown them all the door, and there's no guarantee that we will ever let them in again. Thus, the rehabilitation campaign begins. No, it's not some sort of fancy holding house where they go to get clean, but rather, it's where they wish for you to see them as if in a dream. Hollywood celebrities now part of what appears to be a campaign to reinvigorate the way you see celebrities once more. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we love explaining entertainment. Keeping you ahead of the culture curve is what we do. Why do we do it? Well, because we believe that entertainment is a way for us to examine the human psyche, culture as it is being formed all over the world. And we love to give it a positive, careful nudge. And folks, that's what we're doing here with you today as we get ready to drop in and find out what's happening with an exclusive scoop. Yes, you will need to put on your speculation blinders and binders because, well, finders keepers, if we're right, we're happy, but we are in rumor and speculation territory. Folks, as we get ready to dive in, click the like button, check the track record if you want to know how likely it is we have this, and we'll tell you about the Hollywood, well, old Hollywood glamour. We have an exclusive here, folks. We're happy to bring it to you. There is apparently a rehabilitation effort underway, and we're not sure who is doing this. But we had a source that came to us, and they have been seemingly proven accurate. So now we want to bring it to you. We're being told by a source that somebody, some agency somewhere, some group has managed to convince a whole bunch of different companies and articles and writers to carry the water for celebrities for the upcoming about 6 months. And so we're going to be paying very close attention to how this is done. But we have an indication of what they're up to rehabilitate the public perception of celebrities in Hollywood, and we want to show you right now. Take a look at this. It is, well, a list of just articles if you search for old Hollywood glamour. Now, I want you to pay attention to that, okay? Because old Hollywood glamour is not a typical three-word phrase that you would find everywhere. And yet, for some reason, authors of all kinds of varieties, working for all different kinds of companies, writing all kinds of different topics regarding Hollywood, suddenly started talking about old Hollywood glamour to go along with the Golden Globes. Now, you could say that if that were the official theme of the Golden Globes, well, that would be something, but well, it wasn't. But all of a sudden, they all had this same phrase in mind. Take a look at this. From CNN, Zendaya channels old Hollywood glamour as fans speculate over huge diamond ring. Notice that's about her getting engaged with Tom Holland. So why is it not like the title there, Tom Holland, Zendaya likely engaged? No, it's how do we get old Hollywood glamour into it? Yahoo! Julia Louis-Dreyfus channeled old Hollywood glamour in this form-fitting gown. Going down. From Us Weekly, how stars channeled old Hollywood glamour for the 2025 Golden Globes. From Good Morning America, and take a look, Good Morning America is Disney, US Weekly is definitely not Disney, CNN is its own company, Yahoo is its own, these are all different companies. GMA says, Zendaya serves old Hollywood glamour at 2025 Golden Globes. The Telegraph, that's the UK, says the old Hollywood glamour rules that work for all ages. Jennifer Lopez, from Page 6, goes for old Hollywood glamour in all white at Golden Globes pre-party. Daily Mail. Jennifer Lopez channels old Hollywood glamour. Just Jared. Jennifer Lopez channels old Hollywood glamour. We go down to Harper's Bazaar. Zendaya flawlessly executes old Hollywood glamour. AOL.com. Zendaya, Ariana Grande, and more channeled old Hollywood glamour. Jonas?
No, I was just thinking the gravitas in which all of these have been written is really coming through. If we're going for that old school talking points memo idea here.
I mean, I can keep going through this. It never stops. Article after article after article about this. And even when you run out of the titles having it, it's in the articles themselves. Like you will find this in there. And so what we were told about was that apparently there's going to be, and I don't know what we want to call this. Is it official talking points? Is it a psyop? Like, I don't know what this type of marketing is called, where you've managed to get the entirety of the mainstream and legacy, mainstream and legacy access media on board. But apparently there's a plan to do this for about the next 6 months, where they're going to coordinate these phrases that are intended to have you look at Hollywood and celebrities in a nostalgic way. They're trying to reframe this so that you'll see stars in the way that you used to see them before things were politicized. And so this is the beginning step, we're told. And since they told us it was going to happen and it did, well, we're going out there and saying, might be something to this. So I'm just curious, opening this up to the panel, and I see Culture unmuting, so I'll go to you first, Culture, on it. What do you make of this, that they all managed to coordinate around that single talking point phrase, old Hollywood glamour, and everybody jumped on it? Like, how does this work where every single journalist and writer suddenly makes manifest that phrase?
Well, I mean, there's always a press kit and talking points, as Jonas referred to. We've been subjected to this for a long time. When they were talking about climate crisis garbage, one of the toolkits, talking points kits, was accidentally released to everybody because of that little squirrel girl that was abused by her parents and made a political sheep. What's her name? Thunberg. Anyway, but this is something that's always kind of happened and it's come down through the years. This trend in this language actually started leading into the Globes. In the first place you probably can see it is in an article from the Chic Style Collective, amongst other places, that start talking about the most iconic dresses and the old world glamour well before the Globes actually had their thing. So this is going to be a talking point for quite some time, and they highlight the dress of Marilyn Monroe in 62 and Cher in 73 and Julia Roberts. I don't know where they got that, but Halle Berry. They kind of went through a list of what old Hollywood glamour looked like and what the chic thing was, and that's obviously the name of the website. But these types of talking points have been around forever, and they used to be passed around press pools before events, and sometimes well in front of. And I would suggest that this had been treated the same way. So this isn't anything new when it comes to the Hollywood press, but they really are trying to get everybody marching back in line to try to bring back some relevance. This is also a wonderful thing for you YouTubers out there, because if you can in any way, play off of this with old Hollywood glamour, you might have some tags already tied up for your next video. So there you go.
And to bounce off that point, Culture, the host, and I can't remember her name at the moment, but the host that they had, the comedian
Nikki Glazier, who was
right.
She's brilliant, and she did, as Jonas gave her a great compliment, a wonderful job, because part of what she does so well is roasting people, and she did add that into the repertoire as well.
Well, so what I was going to say is she was given some, what would you say? She was held back a little bit. She talks about this in one of her interviews where she had considered roasting the audience a bit in regards to the Diddy stuff. And she didn't do that. It was decided not to do that, not to go there. And I just wonder, and Tom, maybe you'd like to weigh in on this. I just wonder if the marketing behind this for old Hollywood glamour, if they're trying to get the celebrities to be seen as being attached to something nostalgic and before Diddy and before Weinstein. What do you think?
Perhaps. I mean, we have been kind of all in this punditry talking about how Sydney Sweeney has that classic Hollywood style of, like Marilyn Monroe and such we've compared her to. So maybe they're just stealing that. And I mean, look, yes, they throw their buzzwords around and they all come from like the same 2 or 3 write-ups. I mean, I know this from when I worked in radio. We got it all from like the AP News or whatever.
Yeah.
And we had to rip and read. We weren't allowed to editorialize. We weren't allowed to change anything. We just had to read it as is. So I'm not saying that some of these things might not come from the same reports and they're just using the same words, but that's pretty poor grammar if that's the case. I mean, otherwise, if they're throwing these words around, I can believe the idea that you're putting out there that this is something that they're saying we need to use these kind of buzzwords right now because that's what the world wants or that's what the world needs. But I mean, the Golden Globes themselves did not reflect what the world wants or what the world needs. I mean, yeah, Wicked was popular, but I mean, let's be real. The movie that won over Wicked was Woker Than Wicked, and that's why it won at the end of the day. And I know I'm kind of deviating from your question here, but that's kind of the point at the end of the day is yes, I do think that there could be some sort of coordinated effort to try and use certain buzzwords like that to try and get the middle America's attention.
What we'll be watching for, Tom, to see if this source has this right, and we think right now that they do, is we're going to watch and see, do they make more of these buzzword talking point statements through the award season that try to connect Hollywood and celebrities with something nostalgic?
That's a good point. Yeah.
So we're going to be watching to see, does that continue?
Wouldn't it also be in an effort, I ask you both or everybody on the panel, wouldn't it be an effort to reinstill some level of importance or relevancy into these award shows? Because largely people have abandoned them. This one experienced a slight bump in interest. I mean, they went up 7% to over 11 million in terms of ratings. So I mean, it definitely had some influence. And it definitely did shy away, or Nikki specifically shied away from what Ricky Gervais did in drawing attention to, the pals and partnerships that everybody had and how corrupted they were in that circumstance. They kind of want to make a little bit more unattainableness, or I know that's not really a word, but they want to make it a little bit more not just glamorous, but something that we didn't used to have such insight into celebrity lives. Do you think that they'll go back into old studio mode? I mean, there's a lot of reasons why they would be trying to do this, right?
Well, let me do something, Culture, that I don't tend to like to do. And that is, you had said that the Golden Globes were up, and you might be right, but I don't see that yet. So let me present this. This is out of Deadline by Katie Campione and Nelly Andreeva. It says Golden Globes 2025 viewership on par with 2024, off by 2%. So they missed. Now, you may have information about the demo that's more pertinent. Here's the update from 7:50 a.m., and perhaps this is updated past when you last looked at it, or maybe that I'm just misinterpreting you. But I will say this. The Globes, since 2020, have dropped to such a level that they're just unsustainable. And we covered this in a video earlier. So the latest update we have, it says we can now make fair ratings comparisons. The 2025 Golden Globes Award averaged 9.3 million live plus same-day viewers, according to Nielsen data shared with Deadline. It's a 2% dip from the 2024 result. Despite the strong football competition, the ceremony also held steady in the key demos with a 1.8 rating in adults, even with last year. And what we talked about is that 18 to 49 at a 1.8, it doesn't sustain this at all, and it doesn't sustain celebrity culture or hero worship culture, which is what drives a lot of this.
Wait,
Culture, your thoughts?
No, my thoughts are this. You're right. I just looked at the update because I'm taking away yesterday's numbers, and much like the federal government who like to revise things down when you're not looking, this clearly was, because they had been claiming this was well up over 10 million in terms of viewership.
In other words, Culture, what do they often do? They put out the bogus stuff, and I'm not trying to allege any wrongdoing, but a lot of times we get the bogus buzz so that they get the headlines, and then 24 hours after that, suddenly reality sets in, and it's not as good.
Yeah, I mean, you had Billboard reporting this, the Golden Globes themselves reporting surpassed 10 million. You had several articles in the trades, and yet 3 hours ago they released the actual numbers. So that's insane. So there you go. Because according to even things that are now cited on Reddit from day before, and even from the Hollywood Reporter, the viewership was up. So.
But this may be an indication why the celebrities are trying to do what it is they're doing. Erica, you noticed, I think, that the fashion also was a throwback and seems to be trying to call to a better time for celebrities in Hollywood. What were your thoughts on the fashion choices and how that might be playing into this theme and this buzzword psyop effort to get people to go, oh, yeah, I remember when Hollywood was nice again?
Dressing the part is one thing, but if you're still going to glamorize woke and award it, then you still do not have my attention. Now they were beautifully dressed. Who doesn't, I'm a girl who doesn't like to look at beautiful, timeless, classic gowns and jewelry and makeup and hair. But I can see that in photos. I don't actually have to watch the awards and the ceremony to admire that stuff. I can even go on Pinterest and admire that stuff. It's not even on a celebrity.
Well, they're trying to get back to the middle desperately. They're trying to get back to a nostalgic place. And it's because I think they realize they're at the precipice. I mean, they had dropped, it was 80%. The Golden Globes since 2020 have dropped 80% of their key demographic viewership. So they can't continue the way they've been going.
But are they trying to get back
That's
to the
a
middle?
lot
Or are
of
they
gay
trying
people.
to are they trying to get back to the middle, or are they trying to look like they're getting back to the middle by using phrases
Exactly.
like old Hollywood glamour? I mean, when I Google old Hollywood glamour, I don't think Jonathan Van Ness came up because I'm not sure that his dress that he wore would be considered old Hollywood glamour. It might have been on a woman, but it was not. That
Can
to
I
me,
steal, Ron? Can I steal Culture's phrase that he invented the other day? Based is the pace car of the culture today, and they're trying to chase the pace car because they don't have any real values in their heart.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I noticed it in the dresses, and because again, I mean, I do pay attention to these types of events, usually in arrears and not in real time anymore. I used to be somebody who'd be often found watching these types of award shows and celebrity celebrations, but I will tell you right now that there's less titillation involved in everything that we saw on the red carpet, outside of obviously the weird guy wearing the dress thing, but like, for example, Zendaya, when they say glamorous for the first time ever, it seemed like she was at that point in time, and not, the look at me. It was more like, look at how elegant I am for a change. And she had a nice bob hairstyle, and obviously she's rocking the new rock, because I guess she's engaged. But, even prior to that speculation, I would say that dress she picked out was very classic and elegant.
Well, they were late because Tom wore the same dress to begin with, so he had to go back and change.
Well, I tell you what he doesn't do anymore, and I did a story on this the other day, and I'm sure you've seen this, Tom, but they don't walk the red carpet together anymore, so he doesn't steal her thunder or spotlight. So, but
we already know who's going to be the breadwinner after they get married anyway.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like he's going to finish up some Spider-Man movies. They're going to shoot out some babies, and he's going to stay home and raise them, I guess.
Yeah.
Can I just remind you all that there was a time when men when they dressed like this, people got angry. Do you all remember this? When Trey Parker and Matt Stone went to the Oscars in dresses, and
they were on acid, just to let you know that. They admitted that later on. They were completely messed up.
So were the ones in dresses today. But listen, the bottom line is, take a look at how far we've come. There was a time when they showed up, all the other celebrities were outraged that they would do this. And today, they couldn't do that because they'd just be like, oh, well, we're one of the rest. But pay attention.
They are trendsetters, yes.
Indeed. Pay attention, folks. Old Hollywood. We're going to be watching this over the next 6 months. How many times in the media are they going to reference in some way old Hollywood and try to connect that with the Hollywood of today? We'll be paying attention. Good night, game over, drive home safely. Folks, this video is done. But before we all head home, we only ask one thing. Folks, as you get ready to head on out, consider clicking that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those pesky algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below and share your thoughts, for a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Waste not that beautiful personality of yours. And folks, we would say, as you get ready to head out the door, that it has been an honor to spend time with you, an attitude of gratitude each and every time that you elect to join together with us. Breaking bread and breaking entertainment, well, the industry. No, we like entertainment. It's the industry that irks us sometimes. Well, it was a good time. We hope you had a good time. Folks, until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.